I always give that advice that there are so many other things we can be doing that we are not doing, and we need to be doing
Mm.
those things. It's not always about money, and sometimes we get defeated because we think, I don't have the money, I don't have the funds. But sometimes it's not about the funds. It's about, who you know and who they know. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's about the research you've done. Sometimes it's even about your boldness to walk up to someone, a total stranger, at a networking event and ask a question. So it's about so many things, not just
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm a big advocate of your network. So anybody listening out here out there, you have to go out, you have to network, and your network is basically your net worth. So I'm wondering, this event is I don't know why I have never heard about it. I just happened to stumble on you guys on Eventbrite.
Okay.
This event is really big, probably even more important than all the fashion weeks that are taking place right now, because I mean, from my research and from what what you've told me, you are inviting international fabric or textile mill owners. You
Yeah.
are inviting people who make sewing, all kinds of machines for the garment industry from China and all over the world. You are
Mm-hmm.
inviting people, garment manufacturers from all over the world. There will even be speaking sessions
Mm-hmm.
um, from renowned garment or designers,
Mm-hmm.
who have been able to successfully, um, how will I put it now, who've been able to successfully master the whole import export
Mm-hmm.
trade business.
Yeah.
So how did this exhibition come about, and
Mm-hmm.
what is in it for the small business owner? Because that's what we are. We're a community of small fashion business owners. So
Mm-hmm.
what's how did this exhibition come about, and what's in it for us?
Mm. So, like I said in the beginning, honestly, we work across different sectors and we give advisory across different sectors.
Mm,
And one of the sectors, as we work in agriculture, we work in manufacturing, we work in healthcare sector, we work across different sectors. And the
mm,
textile sector, the textile and apparel sector is a sector that is very dear to me because there are lots
mm,
of young people there, lots of, entrepreneurs there, a lot of people who
mm.
even have 9 to 5 jobs, but they are also trying to build, a brand by the
Yeah,
side. But one
yeah.
thing that I find in that sector is that for a lot of people, there is this focus on the design and not on the business. And we need to
Mm,
start focusing more on the business of fashion. And that is what differentiates our own event, the exhibition now, from,
mm,
like a fashion week or like a other fashion events. Because ultimately, you want as a fashion beyond the design, about that. If you have beautiful designs and you are not selling enough to keep your factory going, you're not selling
mm,
enough to pay your staff, your designs may be wonderful, but people are not seeing them.
mm,
And so we need to begin to, and that was the vision behind the exhibition, the
mm,
need for manufacturers here. I speak to people all the time who say to me, Bumi, look, I am producing at X amount. Nigerians don't want to spend this amount on clothes, and I'm competing with fast fashion from this country, that country. And I'm going like, look, you're selling your product to the wrong people. The person
mm,
that you're trying to target may not be your customer. There are customers
mm,
all over the place. Do you know that there are people who import clothes who rather export clothes to the UK, to the US from Nigeria, and they're selling these clothes at hundreds of dollars per one
mm,
Ankara blazer, for example. Something that's in Nigeria, maybe they would sell for 20,000. They would sell in the UK or in the US for maybe £100. This
mm,
market is there.
mm,
But people are not taking advantage of it. And why are they not taking advantage of it? The tools of trade is also very important. I've met
mm,
people who has lost out on contracts because they had prepared themselves that I will be making one item, two item, three item, four item, and then the
mm,
opportunity comes and someone says, oh, I want to order this much, and it's like, oh, what do I do? So
mm,
what this event provides for you is an opportunity to also cut down the excess expenses that you have, even if as a small business owner, because you're sourcing fabric. You
mm,
may not be designing fabric for yourself, the way like Mark and Spencer's will be doing, when they release new collections, they design new fabrics and all that. You're not doing that, but you're buying stock fabrics. You're buying, at a small scale what you can afford. You can afford to spend 700,000 on fabric, or a smaller amount of fabric. When you meet these manufacturers one-on-one and you talk to them, most times when most people buy products here, they are buying from people who have bought from someone who has bought from someone else who has bought from someone else. And what happens? The markup keeps going. So there is that option, there is that issue. Then there is the issue of even proper tools. A lot of people don't even know that there are machinery that can solve a lot of problems that they have. They're not aware of it. They're not aware of what their competitors are doing. And it's very important. As a young person, a small business owner, if you're looking, for example, as a business owner, maybe I'm starting a new label, and I think that, look, I want to be on the level of Rough and Tumble. I want to start exporting like she's exporting. Who best to tell me how she has achieved that than the owner of Rough and Tumble? Let me use her as an example. That's why I said it's very, very important for us to begin to expand our networks and talk to people, and most importantly, listen to people who have walked the journey, the path that we are walking. So the design aspect is exciting, true, and it's important, but also important is the business aspect, and that's what we focus on.
Interesting. So this exhibition taking place, I think, from the 9th to the 10th of November. What can we hope to expect from it? Yes, I know that you have garment manufacturers and people who are in the textile industry who are. What do we hope to expect from this exhibition?
So the exhibition gives opportunity to, on one side, meet manufacturers of, like you said, fabrics, apparels, machineries, appliques, different things. There are different manufacturers that are going to be there from different countries. Turkey, India, so many countries, China. You would meet manufacturers there. Then beyond even meeting these manufacturers, you get the opportunity to see what is the new thing that is being produced. Because that's also very important. You're competing with a global market. It's a small world. So what are the new things that are being produced? You get to see that, and that's important. You also get to network. It's a West African event. You have people attending the event from Togo, people attending the event from Senegal, from Ghana, from other West African countries. So by coming there, you get to meet them, meet your young designers like yourself, meet established designers, meet, bigger designers. You get to meet stockists, those who are stocking products with their own stores and things like that, who come to the event to look for new brands. So you can meet those people as well. And that opportunity
I think that's really important.
Yes, so very important,
buyer.
The buyers, so very important. Also important as well is the fact that a lot of people are in silos in terms of the state or where they are. So, for example, if I'm in Lagos and I have my own label, I'm basically in Lagos. But you get to meet people that are attending the event from different states all over the country. It means that you get to meet buyers and stockists in all these states that you can say, oh, look, I'm interested in keeping my products in your store. Can we work on an arrangement? Let my products be in Kano. Let me have an opportunity in maybe in Aba or, in one state or the other. So that's also very important. The networking aspect, which we really emphasize. We have, different networking sessions. There is a Best of African Designs runway that is going to hold. The runway is not really the focus of the runway is to show the quality of work that is being produced here and the ability for people producing to export to other countries. So if you look around now, we are beginning to see like a large investment into apparel manufacturing, textile manufacturing in West Africa, because we are well placed for export. Exports to America, exports to the UK, to Europe.
Is it because of proximity?
Because of proximity, and then the cost of labor is also reasonable. The cost of labor is rising in other markets. It's not rising here. The cost of labor is also reasonable. But we need to take advantage of these opportunities. And I think that events like this gives us that platform, because part of the event as well is the West African apparel manufacturing summit and trade policy summit. Basically, part of what we look at during the conference is how are the policies that the government has been putting in place, how is it affecting the fashion industry? And the policies I'm talking about is some people, there are policies in place that you can take that helps you to even export to other countries, like what is going, like AGOA, like the ASCTA. A lot of designers are not aware of them. A lot of fashion brands are not even aware of them. They don't know how they can, take advantage of this, that how these doors are open to them. There are different policies, different funding available. People are not aware. So when you go to events like this kind of particular event, like I said, we are very focused on the business aspect, and a lot of the conversation that is going to happen is from that perspective.
This sounds like a place that an exhibition that every designer in Lagos, in Nigeria, should attend because of the sheer amount of opportunity in it. So from what you've just said, now I have two questions. The first one is, you said you have kind of like a runway show to show what Nigerian designers are capable of. Do you already have a fixed set of designers to show on that day, or can anyone still apply?
So it's already closed now because it takes us a year actually to put the exhibition together. So a lot of the work has started, a long time ago. But the runway is going to feature brands from international brands. It's going to feature Nigerian brands because I think it's important for people to see Nigerian brands, African brands side by side with international brands, because then you can even see it and go, okay, you can look at it together. And then also very important as well is that what the runway also gives is the opportunity for buyers to see the clothing on the actual human person, not necessarily in a store, in your booth, hanging on, one thing or the other. They get to see it, on the person. So there is that opportunity as well.
Okay. Then the second is, when you spoke about, we are ripe and we are ready for, production and exports and all of that, which I absolutely agree with you on, because the West is, there is climate change everywhere. Yeah. We thought, Africa was a bit shielded, but we see the flooding, that has overtaken about 36 states out of 38. Sorry.
Absolutely.
In Nigeria. But the thing is, we are still, in terms of climate change, still better than the West. And the truth of the matter is that the West is really looking at Africa, Nigeria, in terms of production, because the production hubs of China are closing their doors. They've seen that they are feeling the effects of climate change and want to cut down on fashion production, which is one of the biggest polluters of the the earth and all of that. But my problem is education. We have all these machines, but the thing is, do we know how to use them? I know that it really isn't your that's not your forte, basically. But what use is there in having these machines and then the average Nigerian tailor doesn't know how to use them? Because we were talking yesterday about some things that we were seeing on Lagos Fashion and Design Week runway, and I was like, these clothes are lovely, designs are lovely, but the execution is poor. Some designers don't even know that there are particular needles for particular garments, particular machines to handle particular fabrics to have the best results. So what is being done? Because once education is in place and we have this massive workforce of skilled, that's the word now, skilled people, then we are ready to take advantage, because it's a huge market. Yeah. We are ready to take advantage of the production and the exports market. So what's being done in terms of education?
I completely agree with you, because climate change, yes, has changed the world. COVID has also been a major game changer in terms of what is happening globally as well. And with that, yes, there are challenges, but there are also opportunities, for people to take advantage of. I say to people all the time, when someone was complaining to me, there are a lot of importers right now who can't import because some of they are looking for new suppliers. But there is
mm,
nothing stopping someone in Nigeria from, taking advantage of that. So was saying to me,
mm,
yes, but I don't manufacture textile. I'm like, yes, but there's nothing stopping you from going producing garments that they can buy from you and sell in the open market if you're
mm,
able to, do that. Because there are people who come to Nigeria from Cote d'Ivoire, from Senegal, from a lot of West African countries to source, finished apparels that are produced in places like Aba, and they are bought
mm,
there and taken to other countries to go and sell. But then
mm,
that's by the way. Now,
mm,
talking about education, I
mm,
completely agree with you because what is going to be the big changer is moving from this I can do it to becoming a skilled person. A lot of the
mm.
problem that a lot of our designers, fashion business owners face is in finishing also because
Yeah.
that's very important. If you're
Mm,
buying, someone was saying to me, look, if I'm ordering a large amount of products from someone, I want to be sure that if I pick size 5, size 6, it is size 6, no matter the number that I'm picking. If I'm
mm,
taking size 10, it is size 10. Not that
mm,
this one is bigger, that one is smaller, the hand is
mm,
longer, all sorts of
mm.
little issues, or the
Yeah.
finishing is not as neat. So those
Mm,
are issues that buyers look at, and they are very important. For us, we are not in the business of training. This is true. But what
yeah.
we are also in the part of what we do throughout the course of the year, we hold master classes. We
Mm,
hold, trainings, opportunities to meet, to some webinars with with sometimes even international people with international experience that can talk to you about, everything from, pattern work to,
drafting.
yeah, to so many things, because there are these little things people don't put in perspective or people are not
Mm,
aware of. It's not just, there are little things, a little way you can, skill yourself. And the truth is that we are all learning, we are all trying to get better. I
yeah.
realized recently that there is something called the psychology of fashion. I
Mm,
was reading about it and I was blown. I chatted up with someone who is actually um, an expert in this, saying
mm,
that there are brands right now that consult psychologists on what color to bring out in their new season.
mm,
That's very interesting.
mm, mm. Amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So, this is just a suggestion anyway, because I think that what your company is doing is laudable.
Yeah.
Um, but you have both ends of the you have both ends of the I don't know how to put it now. You need to provide some sort of bridge. So
Mm.
these people who make this machinery, most of them being Chinese or Asians who come
Mm-hmm.
here to exhibit and sell their machinery. I
Mm-hmm.
think it would be great if your company can organize a workshop probably sometime next year where these people who make this machinery can actually hold workshops in Nigeria. They might even be online because I mean a lot of things are being learned online now. Can hold
Mm-hmm.
these workshops and then teach tailors and garment manufacturers in mass how to use these workshops, how to use this machinery for for different
For
garment
different
type and
purposes,
different
yeah.
fabrics. Yeah, because number one, it will help them sell more. Because of
Mm.
course, these designers are going to want to buy this machinery, and
Mm-hmm.
then two, you'll be upskilling these people
Mm.
because China was in this state that we are in maybe about some 30 or 40 years ago, where
Mm.
they were just emerging from the Second World War,
Yeah.
and they were doing what you call technological espionage.
Mm-hmm.
Their yen at that time was relatively weak, so they were
Mm.
the perfect. They were in that perfect state, and there were many.
Mm.
Pretty much like what is going on right now in Africa, and
Mm.
Nigeria to be exact. They were,
Mm.
they had enough people, so they were just
Mm.
perfect for mass production and the
Mm.
influx of countries like America and Europe,
Mm. Mm.
producing there. But
Mm-hmm.
now, climate change has using Nigerian's balance now, shown them 9-9, and they are closing their doors. So
I think climate change is showing all of us 9-9.
yes,
The
but
heat right now is so
it's
terrible.
really, really bad over there because they will tell you you can know the garments of the season, or you can know the colors of the season from the colors of the rivers in China.
Hmm.
Because of all the dyes that are not
And the pollution and all
biodegradable
that.
and cannot be
Yeah.
broken down. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's just a suggestion, something that
No,
you guys
I
can look
completely
at.
agree with you. I find China to be a very interesting market. Every time I think about the market and think about, the work they're doing and how they've been able to grow the size of their economy, I always find it so I don't know what's the word now. Will I say inspiring? I find it very interesting. It's a very interesting
Mhm.
market. Um, I agree with you. It's something that we are currently looking at actually holding because throughout what is very important for us is building a community across our programs and sustaining a community across the cycle of our exhibition. So even though the
Mhm.
exhibition itself holds, every year at a particular time, there are programs we do throughout the course of the year. And I think while we hold master classes and things like that, one of the things we've talked about definitely is, having more opportunities for people to learn. So I think we would definitely to speak to some of the machine suppliers that we work with to see
Mhm.
perhaps if one of them or two of them would be interested in holding, demonstration sessions, workshops for people to learn how to use their machinery, to know
Mhm.
what kind of machineries they need to buy, how to even expand the collections they have. Because sometimes people just buy what they feel looks good.
Mhm.
But if you have this, maybe the next step is to get that because this can do this, but you're not even aware of that. You're only using it for A. Meanwhile, it can serve you
Yeah.
by doing A, B, C, D, E. And the next thing you should get, you are not buying that. Instead, you're buying another machinery who is going to serve you the same purpose as what you have because you don't have
Mhm.
the full knowledge, of everything that particular machine can do. So we will speak to some of the suppliers and some of the manufacturers that we do work with and see if we can put something together um, for next year, a sort of workshop or training. It could be virtual, it could be physical. But I would advise everyone in order for you to be aware when it's happening, go on the website and register. It's the easiest thing
Mhm.
to do so that you
Yeah.
constantly get those information. You constantly, know what is going to happen next. And sometimes if it's a physical event, there is a limit of how many people can actually be there.
Mhm.
So we would not go telling everyone. We wouldn't put in newspaper. We would put it
So what you're
to our
saying
own
is,
community as well.
you have a community of creatives. Is that what you're saying?
So what I'm saying is that everyone who registers and attends our exhibition is a member of our community. And by
Aha.
community, I mean that we communicate with them throughout the course of the year by email,
Okay.
newsletters. We send them insights. We send them things that we feel would be valuable for that particular sector. Help them in their business. And things like that, which is always very interesting and very important. But also, like I said, for people listening to us now and the people members of your community, I do advise them to attend the exhibition, which is very important because when you attend the exhibition and you're registered, your data is captured, and when
Mm.
things like this come up, you get to be aware about it,
Yeah.
and then you can attend.
Yeah.
That's also very
All
yeah,
right.
that's also very
All right.
cool.
So you have exhibition spaces, different dimensions and different price tags, and
Mm-hmm.
you said something about it being discounted. Can you shed a bit of light on that too?
Yeah, so we have different categories of exhibition booths. This is true, but I think we've actually sold out the exhibition at this point. So,
Wow.
so, so I think it may be a bit reductive to mention the prices of the booths because the booths are already fully sold. But
Mm.
actually, people can book for the next year at this year's exhibition. So if you attend this year's exhibition and you feel, look, I want to be part of the fashion showcase or I want to be part of the exhibition itself, if at the event actually people start booking for the next edition. So it's always very interesting.
Okay. So this is
Oh, and I also
definitely
I also wanted to say as well. Sorry to cut you.
yeah,
I also wanted
yeah.
to say one of the things we're also doing to support brand owners, label owners during this exhibition is that during our exhibition there are always gifts that we give out. But this year what we've decided to do is that we're going to give out machineries. So if you
Wow.
attend the exhibition, you and so the process to win, you need to pre-register. Then you have to attend the exhibition. Excuse me. So you have to attend the exhibition, and there are stubs you get. There's a procedure to it. You get stubs and all that, and then you enter into the lottery. And we call out winners several times, 2 times a day for the 3 days. And I think you have to attend, I think maybe 2 days or so to win. But ultimately, you can get, sewing machines. You can there are machineries actually that you win this year, and I think that's very important.
Wow.
So yeah, that's very good.
That's amazing. Even if you don't get to win anything, I think that
Yeah, you get your
this is
knowledge as well.
yeah. And so we also have a large community of fashion illustrators. I know that you're not exactly a fashion person, so but
Mm.
do you know who fashion illustrators are?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So basically, we also have a large community of fashion illustrators. Can fashion illustrators, attend this exhibition and beyond networking? What's in it for them?
So
Is it
they're
applicable in
actually,
any way?
no, I think that for fashion illustrators, it's actually appropriate to actually be at an exhibition like this. Because for most fashion illustrators as well, what they're doing is they're putting pen to paper to create
Mm,
beautiful designs.
mhm.
There are sessions. I know that we have sessions on trend forecasting, we have sessions on even design itself. So as much as we're talking about the business of fashion, which is important, don't get me
Mm,
wrong, and it is very important, but the design aspect is also very important, and we have that in perspective. So the event has something for everyone.
mm. Interesting. So this is a big one for you know for this community because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, your network is your net worth. There are things that you can't get on your own that your network
Yeah.
will get for you, and just a share fact that you are enlightened about how you can export, how you can even import, how you can keep for people who are um, you know sorry, for people who are producing, who are, I think it's just an incredible event,
Mm-hmm.
for group members to attend. So definitely you will be having, by God's grace, a large number of us turning up
Mm-hmm.
and showing up on that day. But you have to register. I'm still going
Yes.
to I'm still going to put the link there. I've been putting the link there every day this week. I'm still going to, remind everyone to
Mm-hmm.
say I'm going to put the link up so that people can click on it and register and just go. You can't just stay in your little corner and be sewing and hope that one day Jesus Christ will remember me. You actually have to physically do something, network,
Mm-hmm.
know what's going on in your industry. You never know. Even for the
Yeah.
fashion illustrators amongst us, for people who are into textiles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this lady is not here. Rita makes very unique pieces that will be great for exports. Rita, you have to be here, oh, because she makes this. She takes 60s cartoon characters and then she places
Mm.
them on Ankara pieces. I know
Wow.
that she does. I know that she does a bit of export, but I think she needs to expand her reach. Then
Mm.
finally, I want you to speak on something.
Yeah.
The Nigerian fashion space is very unique. I've been playing in this space for about 15 years, and
Mm.
God has helped me, and I have been in different sectors of the fashion space. I've worked
Mm-hmm.
in editorial. I worked in Genevieve
Mm-hmm.
magazine. I've worked in,
Okay.
in education. Taught in a
Mm.
couple of fashion schools. I've
Mm.
also worked in production, worked with designers and all of that.
Mm.
And one thing I can categorically tell you, and I'm very, very interested in education because I've seen that is what the industry lacks: proper
Mm.
fashion education, and this has
Yeah.
affected the kind of designers that we turn out and the kind of
Mm.
work that we put out. So
Mm-hmm.
the average Nigerian designer now is really all about survival.
Mm.
So if you check the fashion space, you find out that a lot of designers are doing the same thing. So off the top of my head is agbadas and
Mm-hmm.
these illusion fabric lace type
Mm-hmm.
thingies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody's doing because that's what the average customer wants. So you
Mm.
find out that you don't have a lot of designers who are true to the craft, who are doing this from a place of passion. They are just
Mm-hmm.
doing this from a place of for to survive.
Survival. Yeah.
So yeah, so I want you to speak to the Nigerian designer about
Mm.
uniqueness, about
Mm.
um, finding your signature
Mm.
style. Because
Mm.
when you are looking at export,
Mm.
nobody. Okay, fine, the Agbada thing, yeah, maybe because it's African, but people,
Mm.
you can't sell sand to the Arabs. You
Mm-hmm.
can't sell what the white man is doing to him. He's not going to buy.
Mm.
He wants your
Absolutely.
unique African story. So
Mm.
can you because you're in the export space, you know what
Mm.
they are looking for over there. So
Mm.
can you speak to the designers in this community about
Mm.
being unique to
Mm.
their crafts?
I
And it's
completely agree
important
with
in
you.
terms of sales.
I think the passion is lost from a lot of people because everybody is looking at there's this race to survival. Look, I want to
Yeah.
survive. Oh, what are
And
people
you
doing?
can't
And
blame them
what are
because
people
the
wearing?
economy is tough.
Absolutely. I
Mm,
don't blame people, but what I try as responsible to say is this: look, ultimately, the cream always rises to the top.
mm,
And what that means is that when your work is good, it will speak for itself no matter where it goes. And you
mm,
have to constantly hone your craft. You have to
mm,
constantly make it better. But if you're churning out what everybody else is churning out, then
mm.
you are the same as
You'll be lost
everybody
in the
else.
mix.
Yes, and you're not. So you need to.
Mm,
I'm not a designer, but I will say that it's very important because even when it comes to the market, and by the market now I mean the export market,
export.
the
Yeah.
markets, generally,
Mm,
everybody is looking for something unique, and you
mm,
want to even in Nigeria here, you want to buy something and have people ask you, "Hey, where did you get that?" But now that's not
yeah.
happening anymore because even when you open Instagram, the same, the same, the same, the same, the same,
It's
the
the
same, the
same
same, the
thing.
same,
Very
the same.
beautiful photos, but
You
the
know,
same thing.
the same thing. Someone brings
Mm.
out a kimono today. Tomorrow, everybody same kimono, same kimono, same
Everybody,
kimono, same kimono.
yes.
So it's like, how much is your own? The prices are always very funny to me because I think because I work in the space where we look at pricing because pricing is a major. The model of pricing is also major for increasing your sales. You want to price
Mm,
your products in a way that is well valued, but you don't want to overprice your product in a way that also kills your brand. So most
mm,
times when I look at products and people are pricing, I'm like, this is the same thing. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same. But why are the prices all over the place like a yo-yo?
mm,
So it's very important. I always say to people, like we said earlier,
mm,
training is key, and there are trainings
mm,
that don't cost you any money. There are international schools of fashion that are giving free trainings. All you have to do is to register for them. The training is
mm,
free. And but even
mm,
beyond, doing a lot of this training, what is also important is the craft, the work,
mm,
especially for designers, for fashion illustrators. Let your
mm,
work speak for itself. Let it stand out. Because
mm,
there are people who, by the virtue of their work, they've had big brands, international brands, come to them and say, "Look, I like this, I want this, and I'm going to
mm,
pay you X amount of money to own this, or let's share revenue by us allowing us to create this." You understand the
mm,
point I'm making? But if you're producing the same as everyone else, no one is going to, there's that problem. So most times I think I always say to people, you have to take a decision. Ask yourself. I'm not saying don't survive because it's important, we must all survive. But you also
mm,
must ask yourself, am I interested in growing this business or do I want to be a tailor, like a run the mill tailor? There's a
mm,
difference in the two.
mm,
If you're looking to grow a brand, then you must grow a quality brand that speaks for itself no matter where you take it. And that's always very
mm.
important. And I always say to
Yeah.
people as well, look for opportunities, to attend exhibitions. There are exhibitions that the government even sponsors people to even different countries. But you will
Mm,
not know because you are in your
mm,
closet. You do not go
mm.
out. When they are doing program, you do not attend. So try and attend these things.
Mm.
It's very important. Jokes
Yeah.
apart. But when we attend things like that, chambers of commerce are doing events, you're there, this person is, you're all over, when these programs are announced, we get to know about it through our networks and things like that. There was, I think, there are government sponsored programs that take designers to different countries. They'll go with their products. They get to meet international buyers, and all that. There are all those opportunities, and we must, as much as, we pray for opportunities to open, like the statement you made, that don't sit in your closet praying, God, think of me, God, open door for me.
You
It's
remember me.
important. Remember me, oh Lord. It is important for us to keep praying, that we all pray it, God, open my door, remember me, and all that. Very important, because I know I pray it too. But what are you ready when that opportunity comes? And that's very important, because most people are not ready, and the opportunity will come and it will just go away. I know of someone, I will just use this example, and this is because of the fashion industry, I will not mention names or anything, but I know of someone who got a large order from a major international brand because they had seen one of her designs and they loved it. And they said to her, look, this design, we want you to produce this item for us. And, we will put in our stores. And this is like a major brand. This is someone that was producing maybe like 5,000 pieces a year. She was making very little money. And then someone comes and orders in millions. It's also a big order. Of course, she couldn't produce that much. That was number one. But even beyond the cost of production was that she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready because she didn't have anybody in her network to go and seek advice from. And so there are some businesses that when you get and you are just doing try and error, you will lose your shirt because the kind of agreements you're not supposed to enter into, you've gone to enter into it. At the end of the day, she lost out the contract. I think she was paid a paltry sum, and then the design was bought off her for like, I don't know, let's just assume, say like $10,000 or $5,000, and then this design went into another business and made for them more than 100 times that much. She could have, that could have been life-changing, like a life-changing opportunity that came for her, but she lost it because she wasn't ready. So I think that's the one thing I would say to your community. Please try as much as possible everything you can do to get yourself ready, because that opportunity will come. Sometimes you will not even know when it comes, but
it usually comes unexpectedly.
Absolutely. It comes unexpected. Sometimes it even looks like a small thing. Sometimes someone's just talking about something so little, so casual. You're like, this doesn't mean anything. And then it's an opportunity for you, to move to the next level. And most times, some people are not, either they're not ready or they're not alert. And not being alert is also a big problem, because someone is opening a door to you, but you're not aware, that the door is being opened. And unfortunately, it passes you by sometimes.
All right, so we've officially come to the end of this interview, but I'm quite sure that community members have questions. So who has any questions for Bunmi? Does anybody? Folusho, Shino, who has any questions for her? Does anybody have any questions? Can I let her go?
I think from my head, it's a yes. But rather than asking a question, I would say thank you so much for this time out, because it has been so enlightening. And talking about being ready for opportunities is very, very key. It's very key. So thank you for this time. We really, really do appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, Bunmi, it's been an enlightening session. I thought it was just going to be 30 minutes, but it's been almost an hour of speaking with you. So one last thing, for people who are looking at exports, what advice would you give? Who just want to start? They have no money. It's a small business, but their work is nice, and they're looking at it as a source of revenue, extra source of revenue.
So we have two types of exporters in the fashion industry right now. You have those who are exporting by opportunity, and then you have those who are intentionally exporting. Okay. And I will explain what the two means. Those who are exporting by opportunity is someone who, for example, you have an Instagram page, and someone just sees this design on your page, likes it, and says, "Oh, can you send this to me? I'm in the UK." Okay, that's one person. Then you have intentional exporters, and these are people who know that, look, I want to be, even if it's to send X amount to this country. It may not be the UK or the US. So there are people in Ghana, there are people in South Africa, there are people in this place, in that place, who can afford to spend this amount for my product. That person is doing everything to make sure that the quality of the images is putting out, it attracts these people. If he's doing publicity, this person is intentional. Like, say, look, okay, can I get a free publicity? And I'm not, by saying free publicity, I'm not saying go to, a major magazine, but there are so many online blogs that carry so many designs, creating opportunity for yourself. So I think that's also very important. The first thing is you have to get your brand ready. The brand is the face you show to the world.
Yeah.
And it has to be ready. People have to see the business and go, okay, this is a serious business. If I order something from here, they will not come and tell me story. Because there's a social media platform that you see, even you as a Nigerian, you are skeptical. Not to talk of someone that is not here. You understand my point? And then have a website. A website is so easy now. For a small amount of money, someone can build you a 3-page website. Even there are platforms where even you yourself can build your own website with all this drag and drop something, buy yourself a domain name and all that. All of this you can do with less than 30,000. So build a website, have a functional website. Any business that has no website is not a serious business. At least in the face of the external world. And by that I mean someone that is not in Nigeria. In Nigeria, people can make excuses for you and go, oh, it's an SME. Or whatever. But if the export business is not thinking about that, people are thinking, does this person have the ability to deliver this product if I order it from you? So present yourself right. You only get one opportunity to do so. And then also very important, have your channels. And don't promise what you can't deliver. If you say this product will get to you in 20 days, make sure that it's in 20 days you can get there. If you have to kill yourself to make sure that the work is finished at that time, it's true. And by kill yourself, I don't mean literary. I mean, like, if you have to, whatever you have to do, work all through the night, just make sure that you keep your word. Because sometimes, too, in this business, it's about word of mouth. Oh, I got this. Where did you get it? So unique. Oh, I ordered it from someone, this platform. And then somebody else orders it, and someone else orders it, and someone else orders it. At least until you grow enough, to start looking for stockists, you grow enough, to expand further and further and further and further. So that's also another.
So, but how does your company help in helping an SME expand into these markets?
Well, the truth of the matter is that I would be honest and say that we don't work with a lot of SMEs. We don't. But sometimes we do give advisory to SMEs for free. And I really do hope that if any member of your community is on the floor, they visit the exhibition and you see me walking about, and now you guys can see my face, please do feel free to stop me and say hello and introduce yourself. So but I think, like, one thing that is very important as well, like I said, the first step, what we always advise everyone, and not even just Nigerian companies, even international companies, we advise them on this. You have to put your brand right. The brand that you're showing in Turkey can't be the brand you will show in Lagos, because it's not going to communicate the same thing. The message you're communicating to them, in Istanbul, that is working there, because a different market may not necessarily connect to someone that is in Lagos. So you have to keep your brand right. Let's get it right. Let it communicate the right message. Let your visuals be right. Let your, the images you're using, let them be right, and everything. Get your pricing right. I can't say that enough. People make that mistake. Everybody now is into luxury products. But even your product is not luxurious, but it's also luxury. Everything is luxury. Luxury. And sometimes your pricing is also a problem, because people look at that too. Nobody wants to throw money away. Offer me, if your pricing is expensive and I'm getting a unique item, a one of a kind, something I will not see on anybody else, then you can call it luxury. But if it's the same, it's not luxury. So that's also very important. I think those are the basics, and people need to get that right. Once you get the basics right, you get yourself a website, you get yourself, your communication is right, your pricing model is right and fair, because that's also important. buyers need to see that the pricing of this product is right and fair, because a huge chunk of people who export from Nigerian designers and brands are Nigerians in the diaspora.
Yes,
and people
I was
look
about to
at the
say that
product
the whole Japa
and they say,
thing.
exactly, Nigerians in the diaspora, because they want to connect. You also have Africans in the diaspora. They order products, because let's not forget, everybody wants to connect to the motherland. They want to connect to the roots.
There's always
And
that
meanwhile,
nostalgia.
that nostalgia, I'm in a different country. Everybody looks different to me. The language is different. But let me wear this and feel my home. But meanwhile, you are producing items that is the same. That's very, very important, and so that's why the uniqueness, if it's a unique piece, people are willing to pay more, if it's a quality piece, people are willing to pay more. But don't produce a generic item that anybody can produce, call it luxury, and then slap $200 on top of it. Nobody is going to buy it, so there are those things as well. They're very important. But there is also a session that is going to hold during the exhibition, during the conference. I can't remember which day it is, but I will ask Mary to share it with you, and we will share the full agenda as well on how to grow your brand. Basically, how do you look beyond the market you're currently in? And there are lots of speakers on that session. I think it's going to be fantastic, because they will be talking, and these are people who are currently exporting, so they have practical things they've done to get to where they are. Even when it comes to the design conversation we just had about how people need to go for something novel and all that, there's sessions on that as well, where you have designers, top designers talking about how is African fabrics influencing design right now, because that's a valid conversation. And how is our history and our culture and all that, how is that influencing designs and all of this. So I think it's going to be a fantastic time. And honestly, please, if you guys see me on the floor, do stop me, say hello.
This is a value packed event, and Bunmi has already given an open call. If you see her, jump on her and squeeze as much juice as you can. Bunmi, thank you so much for coming on this session, and thank you so much for this event. It's very much needed right now. And I encourage everyone to attend. I'm going to put the link up, and please click on it, register, and make yourselves available. Thank you so much. I have to let you go now. And I believe there are no more questions. And even if there are questions, you can always type them in the group, and she'll see them. All right, then.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Right.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.